In the fall of 1998, a woman's left hand was found buried in a remote portion of New England's Great North Woods. The ensuing investigation quickly centered on a nearby abandoned cabin, which was completely unknown both in official records and among the local population, and whose walls were covered partially with an English-language rant about a woman with no face, and partially with a still undeciphered script vaguely reminiscent of the Basque language. After several fruitless months, the still unsolved case was closed, leaving a number of questions unanswered. Why a later search revealed only undisturbed, decade-old forest where the cabin had once been. Why several police officers who spent time inside the cabin reported disturbingly vivid nightmares involving cannibalism or self-mutilation, and why many of those nightmares occurred long before the hand was discovered. Still no messages on my phone. I guess he wasn't going to call me back after all. I can't really blame him. Maybe I came on a bit too fast yesterday. I noticed him long before he noticed me. His shiny black hair and unnatural blue eyes. I wasn't the only one watching him, that's for sure. His movements were elegant in a boyish way. And his smile. His smile. I would die for that smile. Still no messages. I thought about calling him. Maybe apologize for going too fast yesterday. I'm a coward, I know. But I just couldn't bring myself to dial his number. Besides, he promised he'd call me when he was ready. So I'll wait. I'm patient. I know, I'll just casually stroll past his house, just to see if he's home. Maybe he's out. That would explain why he couldn't call me yet. He only lives half an hour away anyway. Maybe he's shy and is scared to call me. Silly boy. I'll go to him and tell him that he doesn't have to be scared. That I don't mind if he needs time. He lives pretty secluded in a farm on the outskirts of town. I can hear the sheep in the stables as I approach. My heart skips when I see there are lights burning inside. He must be there. He told me yesterday his parents would be gone for the weekend. They left him to look after the sheep for those days. Poor baby, that must be hard work. He was probably just too busy to call me. I'll have to stay here until his parents come back and help him take care of all those sheep. I knock on the door, but he doesn't answer. Maybe he fell asleep. The thought of his beautiful face, even more softened by sleep, makes me smile. I try the door. It's unlocked. There's hardly any crime around here, so I guess locking the door is not needed. I try to be as quiet as possible as I sneak through the house. I want to surprise him. I cringe at every creak the stairs make as I climb them. Finally, I reach the bedroom and I carefully open the door. There he is, lying in bed as I thought. Quietly, I switch on the nightlight on his desk so I can see his face. His blue eyes are open, staring into space, and his whole face is one bloody mess. His cheeks have been carved, the skin mostly removed and hanging loose on the sides of his face. He's missing his fingernails. They're laid out on the bed, carefully arranged. On his bare chest, words are carved. I look at him, my hands covering my mouth. He's still the same as I left him yesterday. He must have been so tired that he slept all day. How cute! I softly kiss his forehead, making sure I don't wake him. Then I write another message below the one on his chest, letting him know I'm here when he needs me. I leave the room, heading back outside. I think it's time for the sheep to go to sleep. And tomorrow, I'll introduce myself to his parents. I'm sure they'll love me too. In the small town of Stull, Kansas, there once stood an old one-room chapel on top of a hill, surrounded by graves. Beside the church was a cellar that was very difficult to find, as its doors had grass grown upon them. In front of the church was a great tree that was always bare. None of those town's members could recall ever having seen a leaf upon its branches. In the town's earliest years, well before the Civil War, there were several farming families that lived there. The minister's daughter had fallen madly in love with a boy from nearby, but had her heart broken when that young man was discovered to have impregnated a certain flirtatious townsgirl. The two were married, and all the while the Reverend's daughter saw them, happy together, and her hatred brewed until after 9 months of painful endurance, that despisal boiled over. Shortly after the young couple's child was born, the minister's daughter went to their house. They greeted her cheerfully, but noticed all too late how she eyed the child bloodthirstily. She slit the throats of those who'd made her life so miserable, and then dragged their bodies, along with the newborn child, up the hill to the church. She put the bodies in the cellar and left the baby there, between their bodies, to starve to death. She locked the cellar shut and hung herself on the tree in front of the church. The bodies in the cellar were not found for 3 weeks. From that day on, leaves never grew on that tree. If you walk the graveyard late at night, you can just hear the sound of a baby's chilling cry. The townspeople burnt down the tree many years ago in the hopes of putting the minister's daughter's spirit to rest. And more recently, the church collapsed onto itself, burying already difficult to find down the cellar. Many have looked for its doors, but the few who have found them and ventured beneath its depths have seldom returned, with the exception of a few who came back to the sunlight after 3 weeks beneath, starved nearly to death, and covered in blood that was not their own.